Insourcing is where all IT work is done inside the company by internal employees. In terms of cost effectiveness, it's usually the most expensive due to things like salaries, training, and infrastructure. It has higher upfront costs, but can be cost effective long term for larger companies with stable needs. In terms of scalability, it's low to moderate. Scaling requires hiring new staff, buying hardware, and even expanding internal systems. And in terms of strategic control, it has the highest level of control. It has full control over things like data, security, processes, and long term strategy. Outsourcing is where IT work is handed to a third party vendor. In terms of cost effectiveness, it's often cheaper because vendors spread costs across many clients. It's also predictable. The predictable pricing models reduce financial risk. In terms of scalability, it has very high scalability. Vendors can quickly increase resources, add staff, or support new technologies. And in terms of strategic control, there's very little control, there's low control. The company depends on the vendor, has less control over timing, quality, and data practices. Co-sourcing, there's a shared responsibility between internal IT staff and an external provider. In terms of cost effectiveness, there's a balanced cost, usually cheaper than full insourcing, but more expensive than pure outsourcing, which allows firms to avoid hiring for every skill while still keeping key roles in-house. In terms of scalability, it's high. There's external partners can scale resources while internal teams maintain core stability. And in terms of strategic control, it's moderate to high control. Companies keep company can keep control over sensitive systems while the vendor handles routine or specialized tasks. And with cloud-based solutions, IT resources are provided via the internet. In terms of cost effectiveness, they're usually highly cost effective due to pay-as-you-go pricing. There's no need for hardware or large upfront investments here. In terms of scalability, has very high scalability. Cloud services scale instantly with demand. And in terms of strategic control, there's moderate control. Company controls configuration and usage, but not underlying infrastructure or physical data storage. Now we're going to look over the benefits and risks of each. We'll start with insourcing. Some of the benefits with insourcing are high control. The company manages its own systems, data, security, and processes, and there's also stronger integration. IT aligns closely with long term strategy. Some of the risks include high costs, salaries, infrastructure, and training require large ongoing expenses, and is slow scalability. Growing the IT function takes time and hiring. With outsourcing, you have two benefits. You have lower cost, vendors spread expenses across clients, making services much cheaper, and you have high scalability. Providers can add resources quickly when demand rises. Two risks associated with outsourcing are loss of control. Vendors set timelines, manage processes, and influence quality, and you also have security concerns. Sensitive data may be exposed to third parties. With co-sourcing, two benefits are balanced control and cost efficiency. Core tasks stay in-house while specialized work goes to a partner, and firms avoid hiring for every skill while still keeping governance. Two risks involved with co-sourcing are coordination challenges and shared responsibility issues. Miscommunication between internal staff and vendors can slow progress, and unclear ownership may cause delays or finger pointing. Lastly, we have cloud-based solutions. Two benefits of this are very low cost and instant scalability. There's no hardware needed, and companies pay only for what they use. Additionally, resources can grow or shrink automatically. Two risk two risks with this cloud-based solutions. We have less control and data privacy concerns. The company does not own the infrastructure, and sensitive data stored off-site may raise compliance issues. So there are many factors that companies should consider when choosing an IT sourcing strategy. There's many factors. These involve costs, need for control, things like data sensitivity, scalability, risk tolerance, and even long-term plans. And I believe that the best choice depends on what the company values the most. If it needs low cost with quick growth, it may pick cloud or outsourcing. If it needs stronger control with higher production, it may choose insourcing or core sourcing. The goal is to match the sourcing option with what the company needs today and what it wants to achieve in the future. So, one example of success is Netflix. It moved its own physical servers to Amazon Web Services. And why did this work? Well, they scaled instantly as streaming demand exploded. It also reduced hardware costs, and they focused on internal teams on innovation instead of maintenance. Another success example is Airbnb. It built its platform on cloud services from day one. Some of the reasons why it worked is because it scaled rapidly as millions of users joined. It avoided massive server investments and enabled fast global expansion. Some failure examples include BlackBerry, because it relied heavily on its own internal systems and failed to invest in new cloud and mobile ecosystems. So, what went wrong for BlackBerry? A lot of things, but the main things are slow innovation. They also could not compete with the competitors at the time, which were iOS and Android. Um, and internal IT strategy did not scale with market changes. So as a result, it lost its smartphone dominance. Another failure example is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Boeing outsourced large portions of the aircraft's design and manufacturing to global partners. Where did this go wrong? Well, suppliers lacked oversight. There was a lot of quality issues that emerged, and coordination broke down. And as a result of all of these things, it led to massive delays, cost overruns, and long-term credibility damage for Boeing.